Welcome everybody. Oh shit, I didn't even change the title of the Twitch stream. It was still from the day before. Whoops. My bad. Welcome everybody. Hope y'all are doing well. Obviously, uh we've got a pretty long list of things to get through today. The esports world just decided that, today's going to be the day that literally everything is going to happen all at once for whatever reason. So unfortunately, we got a lot of shit to get through. But first, Paul, I know we just played a solo queue game together, but how we doing?
Pretty good.
Other than the fact that you inted me.
I did not int that game.
Didn't you? Because last time I saw you were the one with the negative KDA.
Yeah, I was definitely the one who just ran it down twice at the end of the game. It was totally not the mid jungle.
Oh, I thought you were about to say me. I was
No,
about to
they
say
both
no.
died twice at the end of the game, and you and I were standing there twice.
Yeah, they kind of did.
And then he spent the whole time typing.
The worst part of it is that it was really close between me and Caitlyn literally all game. And then at the end, just she had so much range to just free fire, and I could do nothing. And then
Yeah.
Zoe comes in, starts throwing bubbles, and then it's like, well, shit.
Well, our team fight was really good when we were actually playing as a team.
Thank you guys for the gifted subs, by the way. Healy, making this interesting. I'm trying to think, where do we start? Okay, let's get this one out of the way first, because I know Paul doesn't know as much about it. But for those that don't know, that is one hell of an emote, by the way. There came news over the last 2 days of Evil Geniuses and Danny, the relationship between the two, how Danny was handled as a player, leading to his asking for retirement and a bunch of other stuff. I don't want to cite too much of the articles because the biggest thing with the story is that the underlying health premises has not been discussed by the person whose thing it is. And I do not feel comfortable talking about that publicly until he comes out and says something. So there's nothing else to say on this matter other than just noting on the Evil Geniuses side, the management and handling of everything. If there's a problem, the LCS will and should investigate. If they don't, we can ask questions later when the time comes. But for now, that's all we can really say, is that hopefully due justice is served to everyone that it needs to be served to. Any parties that were wrong are hopefully made right in some capacity. And any situation like this going forward is prevented and doesn't happen again. That's ultimately all we can do. There's no sense in publicly shitting on any of the orgs right now because the LCS should do their investigation. There's no sense shitting on the players or anybody else involved. It's just one of those we have to wait and see. And it's as simple as that. And if nothing comes of this and nothing else is discussed, then unfortunately that's the world we live in and it is what it is. No amount of hell being raised by the community is going to make a tangible difference in this whatsoever. People can call it out. If it's serious enough that Riot will investigate it, they'll investigate it. If they sweep it under the rug, we'll deal with that bridge when it comes to it. But to those saying LCS will investigate LML, yeah, they will. Reggie's under a 2-year suspension right now. I get it took way too long to get that investigation started, but let's not act like they haven't investigated people for things that they need to be investigated into. So come on. I know you want to be pessimistic, but there is at least a little bit of integrity here. Come on. I don't know if you have anything you want to add.
Well, I was just saying, yeah, I agree. Like they do. Usually, they wait until they have like an overwhelming amount of evidence because they're kind of they're a league based on like not making their orgs look bad because you kind of need all of them to help keep building the community out. So unless you really need to make an example out of somebody, you more than often try not to.
Yeah.
But it seems like with the EG thing, it's going the route of they're gonna have to investigate, or
Yeah.
more than likely will, but who knows?
I couldn't tell you. But there's not much else to comment on that, so I just kind of want to move on. That's not me brushing it under the rug. I just wanted to take the time to address that. But there's even bigger news. Esports is going to be the Olympics.
Yeah, it's our time.
Now
Are you ready to
that had to have been the
compete?
worst announcement video I've ever seen in my life. Like, they know the audience that they're going for, and they just trampled right on it. They're gonna get shit on by the gamers. They're gonna get shit on by all the sports people that are like, "What the fuck is this doing in the Olympics?" Like, you have no winning here whatsoever. I
I
don't
have
even know
no
why they
idea
made
what
this.
games they picked. Yeah,
It's like
like
it's all regular sports turned into a video game, but no traditional sports like soccer, football, or anything else like that.
yeah. Well, I don't even know the games either. Like I don't know. The games just seem stupid. It's like it's not a league or CS:GO or something that would like make sense to have as a competitive around the world game.
Just
They're
Dance.
like, yeah, who
You
cares?
can literally
I
win
mean,
an
who
Olympic
cares?
gold medal for Just Dance now.
The only people who are going to be doing that is like South Koreans trying to not go to the army. That's about it.
You're underestimating the power of the teenage girl in America. Just
I
Dance is a
refuse to
cultural
believe they
phenomenon.
try.
Oh, chess. Okay, chess could actually be interesting. That one I actually agree with, but I don't know if that I don't consider that an esport.
Yeah, I don't
That
really
it.
get how chess fits into the Olympics.
I mean, I don't get
Or
how
like
half the
why.
shit that's in the Olympics
Well, I
fits
just
into
mean
them.
like I don't get why they chose. If they're gonna go the chess route, why did it take this long? One and two, like, why'd you do it with online chess?
Yeah, it should have been the regular thing the entire time. Like
Yeah,
that's one of those that I feel like it should have been in no matter what. And
yeah, it's
it is going to be absolutely hilarious if instead of having two people sit across from each other actually playing chess, they have two people playing on a phone in the same room playing chess.
I think they should have Clash of Clans in there
Clash of
or
Clans would at
Clash
least be
Royale.
interesting. Like at least
Clash
one of
Royale would
those.
be electric. Could
Oh,
you imagine people playing for their families' lives from like other countries in Clash Royale, just going out of their way to try to win, and some American dude's just sitting there like just
some
with no pressure on his back.
10-year-old Timmy Two Thumbs rolls up with his mom's credit card and a bought account, being like, "What's
Yeah.
up, bitches? Let's go."
I'm about to perform. They look across the table, they're like, please don't. My family's life is at stake. And he's like, tough. And just presses the button. Buys it with Visa. Sorry, pal. Sorry about your luck.
Oh god, you just
Say
set a
hey to Andrew
horrible
Tate
precedent.
for me. You're
Oh
gone.
god. Oh god. Jesus Christ.
Enjoy the gulag.
Is there any other game outside of the major ones that could at least be thrown in there that wouldn't piss people off?
Smash. Smash would have been a great one. Or any fighting
Yeah,
game.
but Smash,
Like,
I consider Smash to be
I
one of
guess
the
it is a
main
major
esports.
one. But
Like I
I
saw
don't know.
Cloud9
I mean,
tweeted out afterwards. They're like, "What if we had an actual Olympics with League of Legends, CS:GO, Call of Duty, Counter Strike, Valorant, Smash, and all the top, dude? That'd be. I hope developers pull their heads out of their asses and realize that they have a gold mine on their hands, that they could do this without the International Olympic Committee, and it would
yeah.
be the most hype thing ever in
It would.
video games and esports. It'd be bigger than E3. It would be bigger than literally anything else that exists. And all we have to do is just have developers say, sure, why not?
They're good.
It'd be great. Oh,
I just feel like they're good. Worlds is too big for Riot to care.
I know Worlds, but throw it in January. Just have everybody in esports and gaming block off the month of January every other year.
I feel like, yeah, it'd be fun in January or December type thing. Probably January, yeah. January makes more sense.
Yeah, because then everybody's season begins in February, so you give people those in the and you're not missing too much if you miss February.
Con made a good point. Riot could make their own. With all their games at this point.
They could. It's still, the problem is you're lacking like that hype. You're lacking something bigger. It's gonna feel like a Riot event. The
But when they
reason,
finish the like fighting game, they could low key cover every genre.
oh, they could.
Yeah.
I mean, they very much could. I'm just saying, like, as hype as a Riot Worlds or Riot World Cup would be, I think just having everybody in the same room would be just insane.
It would.
It's like if it's one of those things where if esports truly does go down the tank and like everything kind of goes bottoms up, it's like that thing. It's like the break glass in case of emergency. It's like they'll all just band together and just do that and be like, yeah, have
World Cup time.
you gotta have probably either Counter-Strike or Valorant be the last one, and have League of Legends be like the second to last one, because Counter-Strike you could have, or I'd say Valorant probably, because you can have any country win. Like you want to save the last game for like the game that nobody knows what's gonna happen, and just let it go. Because like League you can't have last because you know China and Korea are gonna be 1-2. So it's
Yep.
like, is there really a point to like saving that hype for last? And like, I don't know, what country do you think takes the most amount of golds?
Ooh, I don't know.
Or like, let me
Honestly, I
rephrase.
don't watch other esports.
What country
So I don't
wins
know.
the entire medal count? Because America wins Smash. America wins Call of Duty. Europe is interesting.
Well, they'd have to be countries, so they're
That's the thing. Is like Europe as a unified front is great. Europe when split up by countries is a little bit more tricky.
yeah.
I
You'd
think
have to decide what you want to make them do.
Brazil probably does win it for the FPS games, but I think the US can come in second in both. Like being honest.
I wonder if like Korea or China would take it personal and actually learn the other games. You know what I mean? Like go out of their way to learn them just to
They could,
try
but
to win.
they're too far behind.
Probably, yeah.
FPS is one of those genres where
True.
I don't see a world where Korea.
Well, like the biggest FPS in the world is like that Crossfire game, and Korea is super good at that.
They are, but like that's also mobile. I'm saying like
True.
PC and console shooters.
But they're gonna have a mobile section too. They have to.
They could, or you could just limit it to PC console. I mean, it'd be kind of dumb, but like,
Yeah, because the mobile games in China, like,
yeah.
that's their thing.
Yeah, so Asia wins PUBG, but America wins Fortnite and Apex. So like
Do we win Apex? Brazil.
or okay, either way, like somebody other than Asia wins Apex.
I think the problem will be that we'll split so much with Brazil on like FPS games that like the Dota 2s and the leagues, like if China can steal Dota 2 and League, like clean sweep, it would get really problematic all of a sudden.
It would.
Because if they snuck a couple more games and a few mobile games in there, it's just over, bro. Like,
I still feel like we could come close with the medal count. Like total medal count, we'd be fine. I think gold, yeah, like it. The problem is you just have these countries that are like so dominant in everything. That's why I think it'd be like for this type of event, it's not about who wins it. Or who wins the individual medals, even though there would be some pretty good storylines with those. It's about the total medal count. Because that's where you really start to see, okay, across all of the games, how are we holding up?
fighting games will be tough because
Oh, America wins that
we could,
easy.
yeah, but we could get upset pretty quick by a European.
No way.
We do. They're great Euros in fighting games.
But you got to realize with fighting games, I think we'll have like 3 or 4 people sent, and I think we still finish 2 or 3 in the podium.
Yeah, it just meant like I don't know if we'll get gold.
Yeah, but I mean,
Isn't
I'm
gold
fine.
more points?
Technically, yeah, but total medal count is
Oh, okay. You're saying just meddling.
Yeah, like because
Yeah, we have a
what
good shot at
by
just meddling in a lot of
that's what I'm
things.
saying.
Yeah.
Olympic standards are total medals. Like even though you can crush in gold, it's like who has the most amount of good athletes. And in this
Hmm.
case, who places the highest in the most amount of esports? Canada
Dang,
would
Brazil
put up
might actually.
Brazil,
Whoa.
Canada, China, Korea, and France would be my big five.
Yeah. It'd be tough. It'd be tough. It'd be really close.
And the US, obviously. I don't know if I said the US.
Because you really gotta wonder what the E medal count will be.
Gee, don't say that. Don't say it like that. You didn't have to ruin it. Well, let's ruin your day. Let's talk about TSM.
What about him?
I don't know. You tell me.
Wild Turtle?
You
Yeah,
tell me
Wild
where you
Turtle's
want.
coming in pretty confident. We're about to become a top 4 team at least now.
Really? Because you look like
No big
shit in
deal.
academy.
He doesn't look like shit. I don't know why people are saying that.
I don't know.
It is
I
very.
saw somebody on
Oh,
Twitter say it.
okay. People say that, but it's like if you actually watch the games, which I mean, granted, people on Twitter just say what they want, and then they'll be like, "I do watch the games," but it's like, yeah, you watch it, but you gotta have comprehension too. And it's like his support is clearly sprinting it every game. There is no way people watch those games and don't think his support is just running it down.
T-
Like,
TSM is 11th in the standings right now with a 11 and 15
yeah,
record.
their mid and support is just like, and Sunscan is not really having the greatest time. But if you like the last series, I think is a good one to go watch, and like that'll show you what I'm talking about because there's a lot that changes when you get Chime, like an LCS support.
Yep.
You know what I mean? A lot. You get way better. Like it just goes up. And currently he has a lot of training weights, I'd say. But like the last series, literally the support is dying in lane. Like dying in lane. And he's still staying even CS. And I was like, like honestly, I'm kind of surprised. And then like I didn't think when I was watching that, I wasn't saying that like, dang, he's gonna be an LCS soon. Like I watched the games, I skimmed through them and stuff like that. But like I don't know. Seems like I mean Neo was pretty bad. It's not like you can get worse than what Neo was doing.
He wasn't
He
playing
wasn't
great.
doing anything. Now there is a good chance that Turtle sucks too. I mean, you wouldn't color me surprised. Like there's a very good chance, but we're going up against. I mean, you also have to think we're going up against EG and TL. So like
I mean
game one could
that's a
look
doable
terrible.
week.
Yeah, but I'm saying game one could look really bad. Like
Yeah,
it could
and he
look
bounces
really bad.
back. It could be like an M&S situation where first game is like piss poor, and then
Yeah.
second game you come back, all of a sudden things are good.
And if they happen to accidentally lock in Chime or lock in Nautilus for Chime, it's just I don't know what to tell you. But I would call it sabotage at this point. I think it is. I genuinely think they're trying to lose when they do it. I think there's no other way to say it kindly.
I mean, I chat's pointing out that EG is beatable. Look, I don't think EG is beatable this week. I know they looked like shit last week, but it's one of those where I think you have a bad week of scrims, something happens, you make some adjustments this week, and I find no world where EG loses to TSM. Personally.
Yeah. I mean, they shouldn't.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, they shouldn't.
Yeah, they shouldn't. But the thing is, like, you have to think, I mean, you're in a bad spot that game if you're either team because both are going to be playing super desperate,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, both are playing to try to get their bounce back. So, really, both teams are like fighting right now to bounce back and prove that they have the it factor and blah, blah, blah. And I mean, I don't think like TSM has a better bounce back than EG, but it never that's not what you want to run into. Usually when you're trying to bounce back, you're trying to run into like a layup game, and I don't think they're running into as much of a layup game as they want.
No. They do not have an easy week. All things
Yeah, because
considered.
EG goes TSM FlyQuest. Like, that's kind of a not buzzsaw because TSM makes it way easier. But FlyQuest, like, they could beat TSM and then easily get put in their place.
You want to know what's a buzzsaw week?
What?
FlyQuest or enough? CLG has FlyQuest 100 Thieves.
That is okay, but you guys make it not a buzzsaw.
We kind of do though, because we're right around the stand. We're right around the same standings as CLG, so it's kind of a toss-up game. You assume that they're going to lose FlyQuest, but it should be a toss-up with us.
Yep. It's like the same toss up as, I guess, TSM EG.
Shut up.
I have the team that I think is gonna win, but yeah, you guys are playing too.
You know what's also up in the air right now? Your VP of Esports role. Where's he at?
It's fine. Don't need one. Never heard of her. What's a VP?
You don't find it a little bit odd that he was
I
only in
think
the
it's a
role
little concerning.
a little? He's only in
I
the role
was
for
trying to
13
not talk
months.
about it. But yeah, I think your VP's stepping down right after, you know, well, this is not a good sign. Your VP steps down. You claim that a big announcement is coming in March. I assume this isn't the announcement and they're going in some wacky direction because, like, why else would you get rid of him? And then you also happen to the same day bench your starting ADC. It just all seemed very odd.
Yeah, it has been a wild, wild day for TSM fans. Like, I
It's
don't know.
been not good.
I the sad and we have no clue until he announces his next project. Like, we're just not gonna know. I'm assuming that he got a C-suite job somewhere else and is leaving for higher pay and less volatility because look, if TSM was paying him well and it was a stable job, he wouldn't leave. That's just how it is. So something is up with TSM that he felt the need to jump ship at a better offer rather than trying to climb up the ranks of TSM.
Yeah, and it
It is.
doesn't.
Oh god,
What?
no god.
Oh, I was just saying, like, it doesn't. It's also one of those things where right now, like, you're looking around the esports landscape, and if you're him, I feel like with some of the people he knows and his background is a little bit more than what esports is right now. Like, I get there are some really good businessmen in esports right now, and I'm not putting them down for staying in esports. I'm just saying if you're a guy who knows your value and you think you can go actually get that value somewhere else in a bit more of what you were saying, a bit more stable environment, why would you not?
No. I mean, the thing
Like,
is, like, tech's getting hit with layoffs all across the board. Like,
yeah.
if you're Dominic, you do not leave this job for just any opportunity because jobs right now are few and far between, even at his level, where he does have more flexibility and connections than most. Like, it's not the economy right now to be doing so. So it's like
No.
I'm really really curious to see what he left for, and that'll tell you. Like, if it's a company with like no name, outside of esports, that's like, okay, well, my dude either wanted out and wanted something different, or if it's within esports, I don't know what it could be in New York with esports that would make it not feel like he's abandoning ship before
G2.
something.
G2 would be it that I can think of.
Yeah, I guess you're right. G2 is really the only one. I mean, there's technically the MYSL or
Mhm.
MYXL, but that would be a downgrade. Even if you took a C-suite role there, they have no major esport affiliation. That's a downgrade,
Mhm.
no matter what,
And
and less
G
stability.
and that really worries you if you're a TSM fan still. Like, the or I honestly kind of worries you too if you're an LCS fan. In general, it should be a bit of like a whoa, that's kind of weird type of thing if you're an LCS fan, because, like, I mean more in the sense of like, why are guys leaving LCS teams that are allegedly one of the profitable ones for an EU one if he goes there. Now, if he goes to traditional sports, then we can all just kind of relax and go, yeah, okay, this makes sense. Like, do your thing, buddy. Like, go be great. Clearly, you have hit the jackpot. But it is kind of disappointing, I guess, as a TSM fan, because it keeps. I don't know. I liked him a lot more than I like the current management of TSM or some of the people who are still around from the olden days. He was a lot more fun because he wasn't a psycho. I don't know how else to say it.
He was also pretty active on social media,
Yep.
like at least on the Reddit and Discord.
Yeah.
Speaking of
But
Reddit,
granted, it's easy to smile through all the problems when we got Turtle.
speaking of Reddit,
What about it?
I got my ass chewed out on Reddit.
I wouldn't.
Not fully.
Yeah,
No.
I was pretty
So-
sad. I saw you on the front page of TSM subreddit, and I clicked it, and I was like, hey, I know that guy. I was like, that's pretty cool. And I was excited. And I clicked it, and everyone was like, I was going to post in there, go Dave. I was going to put a little go Dave in there. And because I was going to bed when I read it. And then I saw everyone go hating you, and I just went, and I just closed the thread. And I didn't tell you that you were on TSM's front page or anything. I was like, I'm just gonna act like I didn't read that.
I
was
had no, I had no clue until I woke up this morning and I got to work and I saw the Dominic Callis news and I was like, okay, TSM fans have to be like kind of freaking out about this. So I pull it up and obviously it's like the pin thread and I looked at it. I was like, huh, cool, whatever. And then I go to the League of Legends subreddit and I thought I saw my name on the page. I was like, what? Hold up. And then I looked down, I was like, wait a minute, somebody actually posted my thing here. And then I looked to see if it was you. It wasn't. And I just go in the thread in the first comment. It's like, who? And it's like, yeah. That
Here we
makes sense.
go.
The dude,
Yeah.
my thing though is like the dude that flamed me, it was like underneath that be like, hold on, I want to read his comment because it was low-key hilarious, but also incredibly wrong at the same time.
He put that you had 300 followers on TikTok, and you're just some nobody. And I was like, 40K, 300. You can get it confused. I mean, there's a lot of numbers.
The thing is, like, I didn't know how to respond. Like, I didn't want to respond to that comment directly either, because then, like, if I correct anything, it just comes off as braggadocious, and it's like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy. But like, the wording was, "How have you not heard of David Sajaj? He has 560 YouTube subs, 300 TikTok followers, and 752 Twitter followers. Seriously, most of the time I think I'm out of the loop. I'll just Google him to find out, but legit, who is this?" It's like, one, you cut my Twitter followers in half for no reason.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, I have 1,400 on Twitter.
So he just was lying.
I don't know, but it was hilarious. I read
Well,
the
wait. How many are you following, though?
probably 752.
Yep, because he did that for TikTok too. He put your following instead of your followers. And
Wow.
I was gonna reply to him, like, obviously I'm a TSM fan, so I didn't want to get banned from the subreddit because I enjoy participating there occasionally. But it took all my willpower not to treat it like a League of Legends game. I was instantly gonna come in there and be like, somebody has good reading comprehension. Where'd you go to school, Mississippi? And I was like, you are clearly special, bud. But I just sat there and I was like, I should just go to bed and I should not talk to Dave about this. I was like, I never read this. Because I could read what he was doing. I read it, but I honestly, I think the reason I instantly knew what he was getting wrong is because I'm in the military. I every day have to wrangle special ed kids, essentially. See, I've dropped the R word. I'm PC now. And I have to do this every day. So when I read how he misunderstood it, I was like, you know what? He's one of those. And I started reading, and I was like, I could correct him, but some people need to, they need to just live wild. We need those cowboys. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We need them to run free. Hopefully that guy does not do a job that affects humanity, but we may never know. If he's in charge of the nuke codes, we're fine because he won't know how to put the numbers in right anyways.
I mean, you're not wrong at all.
So we should be okay. But I did like not put anything in there because I was like, I do like reading here occasionally.
AK Headache, thank you for the raid, man. I wanted to make sure whenever I went in and corrected everything and like just added
Yep,
the number one thing that I wanted to do was add context, especially after I saw that like Dunk
you did.
what came in and was like, this is all I know about this. It's like, okay, let me provide context before people think that I'm just taking TSM merch for like 5 people to watch in my house in New York or my apartment in New York City. Like that was the last thing that I wanted people to think. So I tried to give it as lengthy of a response as I could, and it seemed like it was well received. It's got a decent amount of upvotes now. And then
Yeah,
I also had to clarify on like there were some people that were like legitimately pissed off at me as a content creator, but I still don't quite understand the premises of why they're mad at me. Like that I kind of get it because if they only saw the me roasting TSM for wanting to leave the LCS video, they probably think it's just another guy that hates TSM, that can't stand them and will nitpick every little decision. But when you take 2 seconds to realize or and like look into it a little bit further and realize I care about building an LCS community and building a fan base here in North America. When somebody dips out on that philosophy or gives up or doesn't care, understandably that is going to impact my opinion of them and the situation more so than literally anything
hmm.
else. That's just where my priorities stand. So it's like I get why you can be pissed if you don't look a little bit further into it, but I my rule of thumb, if I ever see like a new content creator or somebody that I don't know and I have that sort of reaction, is just take 5 minutes and look into it further. That's it.
Yeah, and you never know who people's like who they're a fan of. Like it's of course it's expected for you if you're talking about TSM and they're bad, for you to be a bit more blunt about it than if 100 Thieves is bad, right? Like it's very clear night and day. You would expect when we're both tied in standings. Just wanted to reiterate that
Shut up.
that
Shut up.
that you're going to be like, yeah, 100 Thieves 6th place. They have room for improvement. But if you talk about TSM, you're going to be like, TSM 6th place. It's all downhill from here. Really, it couldn't get any worse.
Yep.
That's what you would expect because you're not a fan of them. But it makes, I don't know. People just seem to get really mad at that because that one recap guy who was doing like the league recaps
Yeah.
on TikTok. I like his videos a lot,
Same.
but sometimes he'll like very bluntly say like, "Oh, I didn't care about this game," and like one day he said that about TSM, and if you were just like a super like I don't
Die
know
hard
egghead
TSM fan.
TSM
Yeah.
fan, yeah, and you just listened to him in that one video and never checked out another, you'd be like, well, I don't like him. He just brushed us off. But then when we did the 2-1 like Super Week, he was like, yeah, TSM actually looked pretty good, and kind of curious if they turn around, and then they go to, and it happens. But he was like, he actually like just talks about what he thinks is cool, and
Yeah.
you just have to give people time because if you just like, and TikTok is made for that kind of.
Yep.
You have to be more blunt. You don't have time to like
No,
build a storyline out of every game.
TikTok is, if anything, like the quintessential platform for authenticity. Like if you want to grow quickly,
Yep.
you need to convince people that you are honest, you are genuine with what you're talking about, and you're passionate about it. You can be a bit of a dumbass. That is perfectly fine. But like
Yep.
the perfect example is Keith Lee. I'm not sure if you know who he is, like the food review guy out of Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah, like most people know him now, but like he's the prime example of just be honest and open, and you can blow up on social media. That's all it takes.
Yep.
You just have to be passionate. Do those, and you're fine.
And Twitter's no different. So like,
Twitter,
well, Twitter's
Twitter,
not.
yet Twitter, you have to be a little bit more combative, but
Yep. That's true. And it's like Twitter's built to be super hype beast and like piss everybody off. So it's like I don't know what people expect. Like, the main two areas where League does social media is Twitter, TikTok, and then streaming like
Yeah.
Twitch and YouTube. But they're only like real social media platforms for like post type things is that, and I guess Reddit.
Yeah.
But Reddit is kind of its own breed of
It.
like social media.
Yeah. Reddit is like the thing about Reddit is like you can have these pockets of it where it's just super informative and really
Yeah.
interesting, and then you just go down some rabbit holes, and it's just bad. It
Reddit's
all
just a
depends.
weird place.
It
Because
really
every
is.
subreddit like thinks there's a way that subreddit thinks, and they're not dropping it. You can want them to cut it as much as you want. That subreddit thinks that way, and their hive mind will carry on. But depending upon the post, they could think the complete opposite the next day. Because it turns out all the Americans were commenting on the last one, and all the Euros are commenting on this one. So nobody knows what anyone's thinking at all. You're just getting downvoted for commenting. So it's like a wild place. And then
Yeah.
Twitter, you kind of control when you post, so you don't have to worry about when you're being annihilated. What makes it kind of nice.
I have to get the dog's food real quick because Luna's crying about it. Do you want to? Is there anything else you want to talk about on the TSM front before we swap to LEC finals?
Nah, yeah,
I'll let you give
I'm
your
ready to move
thoughts
on to there.
on LEC finals while I get the food.
Yeah, really, I mean, just at least he finals his G2 is really good, and everyone else seems to be not that good. Don't know how else people want it to be said. But it was fun, I will say. Like, Larson, like, made that a really fun finals. I mean, watching him and the other guy has a name, the ADC, I think Comp. They're like actually pretty insane the way they came back, and I enjoyed that a lot. Oh, I was saying like it's Comp, right? The other ADC.
Yep.
Yeah, Larson and Comp made it actually interesting. Like if they weren't as good as they are, I think it would have. Well, no, think it would have been a terrible blowout. But luckily, they're really fun to watch and they're cool.
Also, El Yoya, or not El Yoya.
No, no, no.
Yeah, was it? Yeah, it was El Yoya, right?
Yeah, he's also really.
Yeah, he is the reason why Matt even stood a chance in any of those games later on.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that's very true.
So the question becomes, where do you think G2 is now? Like where in their current form based on everybody else, what do you think where do you think they finish at MSI? Cuz they're now going.
I mean, where do I think they're currently going?
Yeah.
They definitely get out of groups, I think.
Yeah, I mean it's
No? Like,
the new format should be easy for them to get out of groups.
yeah, they should get out of groups. I think that they could. I mean, they're pushing like looking one of those finals teams again. Like, they're pushing that kind of hype.
It's
They
just going to
kind of
depend
have
on
dudes who
BB in
can
my
do it
mind.
in every lane. Yeah,
If BB gets railed like he did at Worlds, then they don't stand a chance. If BB can hold his own, I fully trust Yike, Caps, and their bot and Hansama and McYex to fully make this run
yeah.
happen. Their pick diversity is insane. It's 2019 all over again, and I love it.
It is. And I think BB, like, is a weird one because he kind of plays up to the level. He's just a very odd guy. Like the last run he was playing, I mean he was literally just doing what you would expect. He was getting railed because like it's just what was happening to the whole team. And when it's happening to the whole team and he's not getting like ganked a lot,
Yeah,
it's tough. Him with Yike? I thought it was Yike. Is it Yike?
I call him Yike.
Oh, okay. Those two together though, like they're mint. They're fun to watch. I could watch them all day. And seeing him with that instead of Yankos, I think will help him a lot internationally.
Agreed. I
Because, I
think
mean, he's a huge, like, he plays off of his jungle a lot.
he does, and I just think, you need somebody that's going to be willing to go balls to the wall against China and Korea to be able to stand a chance.
Yep.
You really do. It's always about mid jungle duo. Cool. Thank you for the resub. Shout out Paul. Fuck Paul.
True.
I will say though, I I found finals outside of the gameplay to be extremely lackluster. It did like
Yeah.
watching it did not feel like a finals.
I think not having it in a stadium was a huge, like it was way worse than I expected it was gonna be.
Uh,
It didn't, well, I didn't view it as a finals because I didn't think they were really counting it.
yeah, winner.
I don't know how to
Well,
say it, like I didn't think that it was really counting with like a trophy. Are they putting a banner up for it?
I don't. I hope they don't. To be
I
honest,
thought it was one of those what was the one LCS would do? What was it called?
I don't know. Like
At the
the
start of the year?
the
The
midseason
kickoff.
the
Yeah.
or the lock-in tournament.
Yeah, I thought it was more like a lock-in thing. Like, hey, you won this. Good for you. Now get out of here. Like, we'll start soon.
Okay,
I thought it was
so
one of
apparently
those.
it is confirmed that the season finale, like the summer finals thing, is gonna be the split, like the only official winner of the LEC that lifts up like the actual
Oh.
trophy. So I'm fine with that, but like you all like the problem that you're gonna have here is a problem that Call of Duty has struggled with for years with the major or with well used to struggle with for years with the major system, where outside of champs it you always struggle to figure out how weighting worked in
Hmm.
tournaments. But there at least was still value in winning them, and it counted towards championships and everything else that kind of went with it. Because this is so different from league history and you're counting it differently and it's different from every other region, it's impossible to actually assume the weight that's given to this. And also,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but if you don't win your title in front of a massive crowd, it's hard for me to consider that the same. Like, yes, the winners of the LEC and LCS finals during the COVID eras were winners, 100 Thieves included. It doesn't feel the same. I'm not sitting here reminiscing on 2021 that 100 Thieves were LCS champions in the same way that I'm reminiscing on EG, on Cloud9, and all these teams that have won in front of stadiums. They're still winners, not taking away from that. But there is an asterisk. Whenever you do not do it in front of at least 5,000 people, it's different.
Nope. TSM's counts. Don't care. Don't care what anyone says.
And
It's real.
Healy, they confirmed that there's only one road show at the end of the year, and that's not changing because of budget cuts. The reason that they did not have a road show for winter and spring is because in order to pay for the production cost for the extra days that they would need to put this on, they had to cut out the two other road shows.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. When you look at it, it's like not having it in a stadium. If you're not going to do that, I guess you can do what you want. But also not having any of them be a best of 5 until the end is like really tough too. That was like just rough because all those best of 3s really just don't carry as much weight
No.
for me. Like I wasn't that excited about them. Like the one best of 3 like a day thing that they were doing, or was it two? It was two. I had
It
to go
was
back
two
and
best of
look.
threes.
But yeah, those two, like two a day, it was like too much going on for me. Like it was way too many. Like I don't know how to explain it. It's too many games in the sense of like I would rather just have one best of 5. You know what I mean? With
Yeah.
like more fighting going on or more fight. Now, granted, a lot of them were 2-0s, so maybe it was for the better. But we have a ton of reverse sweeps in league. I don't know why. So I think it doesn't hurt to have best of 5s. Now, I understand it would make that format take too long, like to do it all. So the groups part, yes, can still be best of 3. But when you call it playoffs and it's just a best of 3 up until the very end,
Yeah.
it's kind of just
It
meh.
felt weird.
I don't know what to say.
It from a viewing experience, it was interesting, but I'd rather have more best of fives in the way that we get them with our current playoff format than only have the four that we got there. And I don't know, it gave the current playoff format that we have gives it more time to breathe. It feels like, whereas I think Mark Z pointed out that this just felt rushed. Like
Yeah.
you couldn't develop storylines. Things happened way too quick that it's like that. That's fine if you're fully embracing the tournament format, but whenever you have these differences everywhere else and it doesn't tie in, it just feels weird. I mean, we might get used to it. We'll see, but I'm curious to see how it works out. To address Cole's point, he said our roadshow's self-sufficient. The international ones are. I don't think the LEC and LCS ones are. I mean, unless I'm wrong, I have no information whatsoever on the regional ones. I just know from John Needham's mouth himself that the international events of League of Legends are profitable via the amount of stuff that they sell both in the venue as well as the sponsorships that they sell on it as well. Because, for example, this hoodie that I'm wearing right here was $130. Now, granted, I got mine for free because I was with media, and they were giving them out at World's Finals, which thank God they were because I was going to buy one otherwise if they didn't. I think there were 130. The amount of people that bought them is nuts. The amount of apparel that they sold for Worlds is truly insane. And obviously, almost all of that goes into funding these events and is the revenue that helps offset the expenses. Can you buy LCS and LEC merch?
I don't know.
Exactly. The fact that you don't know is the problem. There was LEC merch at one point, but I don't think they've released anything in like the last like 2 years.
Well, it's also just a lot more. You're on average gonna buy more when you show up anyways. Just
Yeah.
because once you get into the venue, you get a little more sentimental and you want something to remember it. So it's just how it is. But
And granted, I haven't been to an LCS final since 2019. And correct me if I'm wrong here, because you were there as well. It was just team jerseys, the statues, mouse pads. Is there anything else I'm forgetting? But there was nothing specific to LCS nor the finals in that city, correct?
I don't know, but I didn't get anything that was like specific to that. I got this though.
Luna.
I did get that. There's some teams that aren't even in the league anymore.
Good old clutch. Luna.
Yeah, your guys are on there. Optic Gaming. I look at that every now and again and I laugh. Oh, you couldn't even hear. I was gonna say your boys are on there.
Optic Gaming.
Yup.
Wait, where at? Let me see. I want to see the.
I'll laugh every now and again. I see it.
Oh, look at that! Look at that! Third from the right on the
Yeah.
bottom. It's so pretty. It's so nice. Even though I'm not a big fan of the black. This.
I mean, yeah, but what are you gonna do? It's a mouse pad.
Yeah. This was what I bought at Worlds, which I wish they had a Varus one, but I'm also not going to complain with the one that I ended up getting.
That is... Oh, that's pretty sick.
I
That's
freaking love
pretty
it.
sick.
I wish they would do a Worlds one though. That's the one thing that I think they missed an opportunity on, was to have like every city, like from Mexico City to New York to Atlanta to San Francisco, and just have a few champions in there, and like have all of the historical champion or winners as well. Like have T1, have Samsung Galaxy, Invictus Gaming, like the logos kind of going across, and like the journey to find, like, I think that would have been an insanely cool mouse pad
Yep.
to have.
I only liked this one because it had all the teams at the time. Now, did I know that? How many aren't even there anymore? One,
Okay. Let me try and
two,
guess because
three.
this is
Oh,
actually okay. Clutch Gaming isn't there because they're now Dignitas.
yep.
Echo Fox, I think, was still there at the time. They're gone.
Mm-hmm.
And then Optic's not there, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Am I missing any? Or is that all of them?
Oh, that was all.
Okay.
You named the teams, which I didn't expect you to do. I didn't even know you guys were in the league already when Optic was out.
Yeah.
Huh.
We got in early
Or an Optic was in.
2018.
Wow.
And then, the reason why Kento and I went to finals, and me, Kento, and Jones went, was because Optic was 4-0 at the beginning of that season. The second we started off 4-0, we all pulled the trigger on buying tickets to go. Immediately.
I don't blame you.
It worked out well. It was an incredible trip.
It was a really fun time. I had a good time.
The day after, we had like 5 hours to kill. We drove out to Ann Arbor and drove around the University of Michigan for 2 hours.
Really?
Yeah, we just drove up. I was like, I've seen so many Michigan football games on TV that I want to be able to say that I went to the campus and just see the
Yeah.
stadium. The stadium was nuts.
I bet it's huge.
It's
It's
so
100,000 people.
so fucking big, and it sits right on top of the hill that the campus is on. That it's like, oh,
Dang.
it like everything feeds up to that moment, and it's like
Dang.
it is so well done. Penn State does the same thing though. Like their stadium's a little bit off on like the north eastern side of the campus, but like it's right up on top of the hill. That like it all feeds into it.
I think it's now time. I was looking at their logo, and it was making me sad.
Why?
Might be time for us to admit it,
What
that we were wrong.
about?
That we were very, very wrong about Golden Guardians
Oh,
talking at League of Legends. It turns out that Golden Guardians is pretty good. Turns out they're pretty good.
I don't want to fucking talk about it. I really don't. I already have to write a song. I have to reword
If
Timbaland's
they
apologize.
lose,
They're not gonna lose. Are we watching the same team?
I mean, granted, here's
River and
best case scenario for you.
Best case
Ready?
scenario is River and Gory literally get into a bicycle accident and break their wrist to the point where they can't win a game. But even then, they come back and they win worlds. Just so I lose the bet, but they win in the long run.
Here's even better because you guys bet they had to win 2 games, right?
They choke in playoffs.
No, they win so hard they get second seed. The second seed get a bye still.
Okay.
They get a bye, play a better opponent, and lose. That's like your best case scenario.
You're not wrong. Rico, you want to clip that and put it on the FlyQuest subreddit? You go right ahead.
No, he's saying GGS.
Or put it on the Golden Guardian sub, whatever. I know it's double elimination, but that's literally the only chance I have of losing this bet because River and Gory look like the best mid jungle duo in the LCS, hands down, bar none. It's insane.
Well, there's still time,
There is.
and I'm patient. I'll watch. I'll wait.
You know what? Cool has the right idea here. They here's what's gonna happen. Here's how they get knocked out, and here's how I win this bet.
It's not 100 Thieves though.
Hear me out. They get second or first seed and get the bye in the first round. Wait, let me just make sure the playoff LCS Spring Playoffs 2022. What did the bracket look like? Okay, yeah. So 1 and 2 seeds get by. They get first seed and have to play off against the third seed, which is Cloud9. Okay? Cloud9 gets hot in best of fives. Golden Guardians, having not played a single best of five, loses 3-0. Goes down to the losers bracket. Doublelift has not been eliminated in a best of five since he was on CLG. Golden Guardians plays against 100 Thieves, and we knock him out.
Hasn't been eliminated in a best of 5.
He has not been eliminated.
Yeah, he has TL.
No.
MSI.
No, in LCS.
Oh,
You
okay.
jerk. When was the last time, other than the upper bracket match against Golden Guardians
Yeah,
that
you're
TSM
right.
lost? When has he lost a best of 5 in an elimination game?
Yeah, he hasn't lost best of 5. He just quit mid-split.
Yeah, they never made it to playoffs. They finished
It
9th.
doesn't count, though.
No,
If you don't play it. Yep,
exactly.
I see what
He
you
didn't
mean.
he
If you
like
don't play it,
you
it's a
get
good
double
point.
lifted best of 5s. He doesn't fucking lose.
Yeah, he did lose the CLG in the finals, too.
Yeah, that CLG series was the last one that he lost. 2016, right? Yeah. That's it.
Are you excited to be the first team to change that?
No. No. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to talk. I like it. That's like the one piece of hope that I'm clinging on to. It's like, so long as we win and get into playoffs, we stand a chance. You're
gonna not make playoffs, and you're gonna be like, your last game of the season, please buy our sports drink. 100 Thieves sports drink, please buy.
make fun of it all you want. That we are the
Please.
only team that has a direct product route to profitability. So kindly go fuck yourself. With all due respect.
Please, we want to be Prime.
Take a juvie and shove it up your
beg you.
ass. Oh, dude, Prime. Nobody's replacing Prime. That's a gold mine.
Ugh.
Also, you're not gonna be able to convince gamers to get. Oh, you got one. How is it?
They're really good.
Really?
Yep.
I want to get like the regular like Gatorade style one and see how it is.
Speaking of that, I got some juice. You can go on. Talk about how you guys are totally not gonna. Well, actually, even better. Double Lift doesn't have to lose a best of 5 this year.
What? Just miss playoffs and retire?
What you're on pace to do.
Not really. We're like, I hope you understand. Like, we are fully making playoffs.
Sure.
Who's gonna beat us? We're 1-0 versus CLG. We're 1-0 versus TSM. We're 2-0.
Don't you play both of us again?
Yeah, but the point is that we already have the first game over you. So we beat you both again. We lock 6th seed. We're automatically in playoffs, no matter what.
Don't see it happening.
I mean, you can say you don't see it happening, but I'm just saying.
It's coming. You wait. It's coming. Are you ready for Wild Turtle to get revenge on Bjerg and Double Lift?
If Wild Turtle gets a win this weekend, I'll be impressed. I don't see it happening. I don't know. Is there anything else that we really need to cover and talk about that's on top of mind?
I had to pour back some of my juice. I poured too much.
Oh,
but
I want to throw this out there. It feels so freaking good to rub the whole "we're gonna work harder and better than everybody" back in TL's face. I told you it feel good. If it didn't work out, all this talk of the Korean work ethic and work schedule is gonna be better for everybody. How's that working out for you?
Well, you have to get good players who work hard.
I don't care.
Did I not tell people Piosik was fraudulent?
Piosik's not the biggest problem with that team. They're collectively, they are all collectively an issue. Like, Summit's running it on his own. Piosik's not playing great. Harry has some moments where he's a little bit iffy here and there. Yeon looks good. Core JJ's looked better in the last few games, but let's be honest, he was running it early on.
It's really tough. I mean, I do feel bad for Team Liquid. You know I do.
Yeah.
I wish them the best, and I hope their players can put it together maybe in a couple of years and on the new team. But they do have a lot of growing to do. And luckily for them, they can only go anywhere but still farther down. So it
Hey,
should get worse.
Dignitas is on the rebound. They got to win.
They did. I mean, TL this week plays Golden Guardians and
And TSM.
TSM.
Yeah.
So they should 2-0. Two fraudulent teams. This is the weekend though. Honestly though, actually for TL, that TSM game is pretty big for them.
Oh, that TSM
Because
game.
if
they lose that,
they
they're out of
can't,
playoffs.
yeah, if they can't crack that, then TSM 100 Thieves are essentially the gatekeepers of who's bad and who's not.
So,
I mean, they're not really out of the playoffs. I feel like, right?
well,
Or because they're 0-2 against both, they are.
We got 5 games left. But if TL goes, who are they playing this week? They're playing
Golden Guardians and TSM.
If they lose to Golden Guardians, that'll put them down to 4-8, and if they lose to TSM, it's 4-9. Assuming,
Well, their schedule going on is terrible, bro. There's no way. If they lose that next weekend, they play FlyQuest C9, and then their super week is Dig, so they get one grace period, and then CLG, EG. So
did you guys
I mean,
beat TL
TL's
the first?
kind of
Did you guys beat TL the first time around or
Yep.
no?
Yep.
Okay, so 100 Thieves are 2-0 against them.
Yep.
TSM are 2-0 against them. You're 0-4 against the two teams within spitting or that currently hold the spot, and then the only other one is CLG. Did CLG beat TL or did TL beat CLG?
I don't know.
I don't know. Either way, their season's not entirely over. It's still possible, but
They
it's
lost
like
CLG too.
they lost to CLG too. Who are their 4 wins against? Dignitas, Immortals, and who else?
I'm looking. Immortals once.
Okay. Dignitas once.
Dig, yep. Golden Guardians.
Okay, but that was without Gory. That
Yep,
was early
that
on.
was way back. And Immortals. So they've already played Immortals twice.
Okay,
So they're shot.
So they're clear. They're safe of 9th place. They'll likely beat Dig and be clear of 10th. Like they'll be clear cut 8th. But
Yeah, but that's terrible for them.
Yeah, if you go 0-2 against CLG, TSM, and 100 Thieves, you're not getting in.
Yeah.
That's ultimately the gatekeepers of the top 4 right now.
But luckily, they got free merch last weekend.
I mean, they did. It was a good time.
Yeah.
It was. For 100
They
Thieves,
have that to hold their hat on.
For 100 Thieves, our game on Friday against CLG is so big.
It's pretty huge.
Like, I'm expecting us to lose to Cloud9. If we can pull off that win, great, but it is what it is. Beating CLG and having that 2-0 record against them and then playing you guys the week after is going to be... Or, sorry, no, we play you guys the first game of Super Week. Like, if we can 2-0 those games, then I'm fine with everything else. Because, barring some upsets, we should be fine. And even then, if you assume that CLG and TSM get an upset, you'd probably assume that 100 Thieves will get one as well at some point.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. There's plenty of room for 100 Thieves and TSM to figure this out.
I mean, the big thing is, we're also only 2 games back. Like, Golden Guardians has a bad week this week, goes 0-2 for whatever reason, and we both go 2-0.
I highly doubt they play TL.
I mean, I doubt it. I doubt it as well. But I'm just saying, if any of these teams falter, EG, for example, if they continue to falter, because they have, who do they have this week? TSM FlyQuest. If you guys pull off the upset against them, shit, that's 2 losses. 100 Thieves goes 2-0. Suddenly we're tied with them.
Yep.
And that means that we're ahead of CLG. That means that we get bumped up to 4th.
I'm hoping. What I'm hoping is that for TSM, like Turtle adds a lot of stability to the top side of the map by just not losing every single lane within the first 4 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
So that would be nice.
The biggest thing that I just want to see, I'd like to see some separation between these middle of the pack teams. Like, I want our top 6 to solidly be top 6. To the
It's
point
not
where,
bad
like,
to have 7 good teams, though.
no, it's not. It's competitive. But, like, I think playoffs will be more interesting if, say, 100 Thieves in CLG or 100 Thieves in TSM start pulling away from, like, the bottom of the pack. And then every game in playoffs is going to be interesting. Because you assume FlyQuest and... Okay, well, just FlyQuest for now. You assume that they're not going to drop to the lower bracket at all. They're probably going to run it straight to finals. Like, Cloud9, EG, Golden Guardians, CLG, TSM, 100 Thieves could all have fairly good competitive best of 5s. And hopefully level each other up that by the time we face FlyQuest in finals, assuming that they make it there, that we've at least challenged each other enough to push FlyQuest in finals. Because I think that's the only route. Beyond that, FlyQuest is just too good.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to hope C9 continues to just ramp up. But they still have a... I mean, I don't know. Men's looked really good game 2.
Yeah.
Game 1 was shaky. Game 2, though, TSM looked terrible. It just looked like they were walking into whatever they need to.
Dude,
I don't know. That
they
was
picked
bad
Rengar.
game.
Rengar
Yeah.
LeBlanc. Like, that, the level of disrespect that you
Yep.
have to have for your for the opposing team to pick those 2 champs is insane.
Yep. But we'll have to see.
I don't know. We will see.
I don't either.
Is there anything else you want to talk about? Otherwise, I'm fine with this being a shorter episode, and we play one more game of solo queue.
I have to go to bed. I have to get up early tomorrow.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, then, I have no problem cutting it off in general. Oh,
Do you want to do the subtopic?
We gotta do a subtopic. Con had it last week, so I'll let you pick one that's not Con's.
Okay.
Sorry, Con.
GG goes to MSI. Boo.
We've seen how River does at MSI. We'll get out of groups at best.
All right, we have 2.
I'm down to do
2
both. That's
because
fine.
they're both quick. They're both quick, or
Okay.
one should be quick. Was GGS 2-0ing their last week C9EG enough to prove themselves a contender for top 4, maybe top 3? If not, what do they need to do outside of railing Fly?
I think they need to 2-0 this next week. I think you need to tie FlyQuest streak of 9 games for me to feel confident. It's TL Immortals for these 2 games. I don't want these to be close. You want me to consider you a top 4 team? You have FlyQuest streak was 8, and I think they'll tie him with this one as well. You want me to consider you a top 4 team? You have to destroy the bottom teams.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. I think if they continue doing what they're doing with these 2 games, it's gonna be like clear cut. Yeah, they're a really good top 4 team. And then the week after that, they play 100 Thieves TSM. So, like, really, they're already clear cut top 4. I mean, technically.
Yeah.
And they're doing a good job, and they look really good. This week is going to be another probable 2-0 week, I would assume.
Yeah.
If they lose here and then they drop both games next week, then they're right back to what we thought they were.
Yeah. I also want to see them getting a little bit experimental. Like, when you have these games that you should absolutely smash somebody, like C9 pulling out the Rengar LeBlanc, pull out some of these creative picks and start flexing. because this does have an advantage. If you can start picking champs and playing them on stage that the enemy team has to consider a ban for, like not just a pick that you've been doing in scrims, but something that you're consistently pulling out on stage, that changes draft. And it's against these lower teams that you should be able to put into the ground that you pull out these picks, you do some of the interesting things, and then you start putting it in people's minds like, okay, when best of fives come, it's time. Like might need to look at this.
Now, here's a question off this. If EG loses to TSM and FlyQuest this weekend, which is possible with how last week went, right? Where do we put them at this point? Are they clearly just another middle of the pack team? And our top 3 is understood, and there is no more. Our top 4 is understood, or do we still give them the benefit of the doubt? They would be 7 and 6 at that point. Because we could. There's a very real possibility they lose to FlyQuest. I doubt they lose to TSM.
I doubt it as well.
If we're being honest, I think we're both in the same boat there. But if it happens, you know what I mean. What do we look at them as now?
I mean,
Like,
for EG, my problem has been this from the beginning that
oh,
I'm not sold that someday is the top laner that can help you carry this team. Wait, what'd I miss?
chat literally called exactly what I said before I said it, so I feel kind of like a bozo. But
What
whatever.
the EG has dodged all criticism?
And like the part where he called him like middle of the pack and all that, I didn't even notice he was putting all that, and I was like, oops.
I mean, for now they are, yeah, but like the thing is, Vulcan, JoJo, Inspired can just flip a game on its head like it's nothing if they start clicking. It's FBI and Someday that you just sit there and question, like, okay, are we working together enough? I mean, if it clicks, I think they'll be fine. But if you have these communication issues and they're just not on the same page and they can't figure out how they need to play their drafts or small macro mistakes in lane, I could see them being middle of the pack. We said that from the beginning of the split. I was a little bit more pessimistic on them whenever a lot of people were like, EG's clear cut second.
Their next weekends, though, 2 weekends are tough. Like TSM, FlyQuest, C9, CLG. That next 4 is like, you could very real go 2 and 2 in that.
I could see a clear world where they go 2 and 2 there and people are still left in limbo. Like, what the hell do we make of this team?
Yeah.
I think you easily beat TSM, or at least you should.
Yep.
And then I think they match up well against C9, so I would say they probably could. Like, Someday is good at mitigating fudge historically. And I think Inspired is the type of guy that can outsmart Blabber. And it's just a matter of Jimenez keeping up with JoJo. And I think he fully can. Bot lane is pretty much a wash, in my opinion. I don't think Sven and Berserker have been like this pop-off bot lane that people were expecting them to be. Like, Berserker plays well and ends up cleaning up kills in late game. But they haven't really been making advantages in bot lane and like making these early skirmish plays in the 2v2s that like really make me think, yeah, they're elite top tier. At least not yet.
Yeah, Nick made a good point. He said, is CLG's or is TL's season salvageable? Because they played GGS, TSM, Fly, C9.
No,
I'd say no.
I think it's done.
Yeah, I think we're all very clear that they're done. But our next one was Rico saying that he thinks Dig could turn it around with Tomo.
No.
And make playoffs.
No.
Like
no.
Mindset.
The standings.
Mindset.
They're 1-10. The border teams are 5-6. You have a total of 7 games left. And you have to make up 4 games. Sorry. After this weekend, assuming you don't make up any ground, which they won't, on the two teams there, you have to make up 4 games in 5 games. It's impossible. There's no way. You have 10 losses. It's not going to happen. 6 and 10 is never going to make playoffs. Not in a world where the border teams are already 5 and 6.
Yeah. It's just not looking good.
And it also wouldn't be 6. They'd have to win out and go 8 and 10. I don't see a world in the current schedule where 8 and 10 makes it. I think the two teams that get there are going to have winning records.
I think you need to have a 500 record at least.
Yeah,
and they
I
can't
agree.
do that.
I think you get the 8 wins that clears you. Or at least it guarantees you a tiebreaker. I think I'm willing to say that.
But yeah, I don't know. I think last weekend was great for the league. Like outside of me, I was very sad because TSM sucked. But like it was good for the league in the sense everything's now like hyper competitive. We're essentially setting up for a massive tiebreaker super week, which is gonna be hype. Like.
Yep. And the super week is gonna be just
disgusting.
all hands on deck.
And I'm low key. I know I probably shouldn't be, but I am excited to see Wild Turtle again.
I mean,
it's
why
probably
not?
just how it is. I just like him as a guy too. But every time he's come in, it's done good things.
Yeah.
I understand last time he came in, much better team, but he's good at doing good things, and I appreciate that. And on Immortals, he was actually pretty nice.
That it is. Unfortunately, I don't have a draft for us this week, guys, and I think we're just gonna take the draft off. I got some stuff I gotta do, and I want to try and get this out. And I know Paul's got to get to bed, but next week I promise you, we will make it up to you and have an interesting draft, maybe around TSM or something. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll do, if Golden Guardians goes 2-0, we'll do like a top 10 Golden Guardians players of all time.
We should do a LEC one. Who's next for Fnatic draft?
I mean, we already know, but
pick your sacrificial lamb.
Double draft next week, maybe. We'll see. Depending on what all happens and if there's more drama to talk about, we'll see. But on that note, thank you to everybody who tuned in today. Let's find some way to raid. I think 100 Talk might be on right now. Is 100 Talk pod on? No, they're officially done. Is there anybody that's worth raiding right now? You know what? I'm gonna raid the Optic Boys and TST. We're eventually gonna get Optic back into League of Legends, and it's gonna be through me raiding Optic members' Twitch chats. Oh wait, Kobe's online. Hold up.
Are they still is Optic still
an org? Yeah, we're
like
still
a big org?
We're doing well in Call of Duty too.
Like, and I'm saying enough to get into like League.
We could. I don't know. I'm not sure the current state of our financials. All right, we are going to raid Kobe though. That is the best idea I've seen.
I like that.
Let me pull up my Twitch dashboard.
You really are a diehard for them.
I am.
I don't know the current state of our financials.
I mean, sorry. That's how I think. I'm not gonna apologize.
I say that too.
Oh.
Don't forget to boogie, everybody.